Welcome to Tarotscopes for the week of March 9th, 2026, with me, Adrian Amari. Tarotscopes are weekly messages from the tarot for every zodiac sign. And I do encourage you to check your sun, moon, and rising and take what resonates most with where you currently are. If you're not sure what that means for you, you can head on over to Astro Cafe and do a natal chart calculation for free. Now, this week, all of our messages are paired with affirmations, and you can always see the written version at adrianamari.com/tarotscopes. And I send these out every single Monday to my newsletter, so if that's something you want right in your inbox, make sure you sign up. So we're going to dive into this week, and the deck that we're using is the Awakened Tarot. And I'm going to start with Aries. And actually, Aries, you have perfect energy for you this week because you have the Emperor, which is related to the Aries sign. So this is your week to really protect and fortify what you've built through self-discipline, which I know we don't always love, and some healthy structure. And when I say healthy structure, I don't mean that you have to time slot your day like crazy or keep the same routine that you don't enjoy. We just want to make sure we have structure so that things actually get done. So take control of what's important, but do so in a measured way. So we don't have to rush into it. We can do it step by step. A tight fist on yourself or others won't yield the results that you're looking for. So really step in and lead from a place of authority, strategy, and focus. You can be really successful this week, and I want that for you. Your affirmation is, I lead with clarity and create order that empowers myself and others. All right. Next up, we have Taurus. And Taurus, you have the Knight of Wands. So take some action this week. It's time to get up. It's time to move. Allow your confidence, your passion, and some of that charm to shine through as you move swiftly towards your goals and pursue your ambitions. Don't be afraid to take a bold step. This is a time for bold action, but be sure to channel your energy in the right direction. If you're not focusing on what you want or where you're wanting to go, you'll go everywhere and nowhere at once. So have that plan, follow through on it, but it's time to really move. Your affirmation is, I move with purpose and passion, turning my boldest ideas into decisive action. Hey, Geminis, we have the Nine of Wands. And that shows us that this might be a little bit of a frustrating week because frustration is in the air. And you might feel yourself coming up against the same familiar challenges time and time again. It's annoying. I get it. I've been there. I'm a Gemini too. So while you have so much grit and resilience, it's important to realize that there's nothing selfish about protecting your energy. Sometimes we feel like we have to please or we have to be flexible, and this week it's okay to have those boundaries. So put up that healthy fence, those healthy boundaries, and do what you need to do to maintain them. Your affirmation is, I honor my limits and protect my peace. My resilience is fueled by my boundaries. Alrighty, up next we have, these are really thick cards and they're hard to pick up, like to move. But next up we have Cancer and you have the Lovers. So I really want you to focus on alignment as you navigate both relationships and choices, because the Lovers is about more than just the connections that we have in our life. So we want you to choose harmony and respect. And remember that you control how much access you give someone to your energy. So really choose wisely. Be honest about what you need and don't settle for anything that requires you to compromise your core values. I'm not saying don't compromise when the time arises, but make sure it's compromise that still feels good and authentic to you. Your affirmation is, I attract and nurture connections that honor my truth and respect my peace. All right, Leo, you have Temperance. So approach this week with a healthy dose of patience. Patience and some good old-fashioned moderation. We can slow down from time to time here. There's no need to rush to extremes, so look for the middle ground. The middle path is the best path for you this week. Stay steady, calm, and balanced in the face of challenges. So I know that fire can kind of erupt sometimes. I'm not saying we have to douse those flames, but make sure they're nice and balanced and moderated. Trust that by blending your intuition with your logic, you'll find the perfect flow, and that's what we really want. Another thing I love about Temperance is that meaning of mindfulness, so slow down for some mindful moments this week as well. Your affirmation is, I find my strength in my center. I am balanced, purposeful, and at peace. Okay, Virgo. You have the King of Pentacles. I love this King energy coming in. So you've actually put a lot of work into getting where you are, whether you realize it or not. Sometimes even right? So celebrate and recognize the work that you've actually put into where you are. Continue to fortify that foundation you've built by making wise, practical decisions this week, especially when it comes to how you invest your resources. And when I say resources, I mean time, money, energy, effort, expertise, all those resources you have. Utilize them, invest them, share them, keep them wisely. Utilize the experience you've accumulated to your benefit because you've got it, so you might as well use it. And don't forget to enjoy the fruits of your labor. It's not all work and no play, right? Your affirmation is I am a master of my resources. I build with wisdom and enjoy my abundance with pride. Love that. Okay, Libra. You have the Seven of Pentacles. So it might feel like things are kind of moving slowly right now, but that's okay because it's really important to remember that success is often a slow burn process. So you don't have to rock the boat or make any big swings or changes right now. Take stock of the progress that you've made, and don't be afraid to pivot your focus if you're feeling frustrated. I feel like I'm saying tongue twisters today. So when we get that Seven of Pentacles, it can sometimes be frustrating because we're staring at that end result and it's taking time to get there. So when I say pivot your focus, if you're frustrated, don't be afraid to put your energy and intention on something that kind of moves a little bit, just so that things can come to fruition with the things that you're also doing. So don't rush, don't feel like you have to push out into the next phase, and trust the timing of your growth because it is coming. Your affirmation is I trust the timing of my life. I am patient with my growth and proud of my progress. Okay. Scorpio, you have the Five of Cups. We're back in our feelings this week. So you may find that your vision, your emotions, your mind is clouded by disappointment, regret, or sometimes what ifs from the past, especially if you get stuck in that coulda, woulda, shoulda phase. So it's important to acknowledge your feelings. We're not repressing, we're not burying them, we're going to acknowledge them. But remember that dwelling on what could have been will only keep you stuck. I don't want to say there's no point because I do feel like it's important to grieve the loss of even an idea or a potential, but we don't want to stay stuck there. So grieve those empty cups, but make sure you place value into the value and energy into the ones that are still full. Your affirmation is I release what is gone with grace and embrace the abundance that still surrounds me. You still got lots of good stuff going on there. Okay, Sagittarius, you have the Ace of Pentacles. So I really want you to make sure you're keeping yourself open to new opportunities this week. And we're looking for opportunities for growth, abundance, and or a fresh start. So with the aces, the door is wide open. So there is a door opening for you, but it is up to you to actually go through it and plant those seeds. So don't allow doubt or what ifs to stop you from making progress. Focus on the long game and trust that these new beginnings can lead to lasting success. Because if you don't start planting, nothing will ever grow, but know that it is going to take work and effort to reach that final point that you want to get to. And that's okay. The potential is ripe this week for you. So your affirmation is I am open to new beginnings and opportunities. I plant my seeds with confidence and nurture them to grow. Okay, Capricorn, we're in our heads with the Nine of Swords. So this week it might feel easier to get caught up in your thoughts than to kind of allow yourself not to be affected by them. So we might find ourselves deep in anxiety and overthinking, but remember that your fears and anxieties are generally louder than the actual truth. So don't give power to the thoughts that aren't true, to the stories that aren't true or aren't helpful, because you are far more capable than your worried mind gives you credit for. So we're going to make sure that we're taking that power back and not giving it away. The nine is also a great sign to purge some of those thoughts and those anxieties. So get them out of your physical body. That could be by writing, that could be by talking to someone, that could be by going outside and screaming, whatever works for you, but don't let them spiral inside. Your affirmation is I release the weight of my worries. I am safe, I am grounded, and I am in control. Okie dokie. So next up, we have Aquarius with justice. So for you, truth and accountability are your core energies to lean into for this week. If you've been waiting for an answer or a resolution on something, trust that things are going to work out exactly as they should. So, we also want to make sure that when you're making choices, you're on the right side of things. So, as things are working out, they're working out in your favor. Be honest with yourself and take accountability and responsibility for your part in things and only your part in things. We're not making excuses for other people. Lead with fairness and objectivity so you don't need to worry about the potential consequences. And your affirmation this week is I walk in my truth and act with integrity by making choices that are just and fair. And last but not least, we have our beautiful Pisces. You have the Three of Cups, which I feel like you've had recently, but this is always a great one to get again. So, your energy this week is to really connect with the people in your life. So, I want you to set aside time to lean into your support systems, especially for moments of celebration and connection. You can find a lot of healing and medicine in sharing with the people in your life, opening yourself up, and laughing together as well. So surround yourself with the people who really get you, who see you, and who lift your spirit. Joy is amplified, stress is divided when you share. So, very much sharing is caring energy for you this week. And your affirmation is I celebrate my friendships and allow the joy of connection to recharge my soul. So there we go. Those are our Tarotscopes for the week of March 9th. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you give me a follow. I would love to know what your sign is, so drop it in the comments, and I hope you have a wonderful week ahead.